It was just a typical Forsaken night. Too much liquor, and my unconscious body sprawling across the desk. What a sight. Fortunately, there was no one to see it. No one who cared. Alive, at least. Once a superstar detective, now a society's deadweight. Relic rotting in a world of cyber geezers. Losing work to OGs, hackers, and robocops. No jobs, no money, no friends. It could have been worse. I lied to myself. At least I didn't sell my soul to some cybernetic mumbo-jumbo. But Lady Death was already at my doorstep. I could feel it in my gut. All I had to do is wait a little longer.
Hey, thanks so much for joining me. We are playing Let Byons Be Bygones. Full disclosure, this isn't the first time I walked into this game. About 10 minutes, maybe a little longer. Will not be a complete blind through. The developer was very kind and let me play a few days early. The only problem was that there was some bugs, and one you got to see already was the UI is really large. I think that might be a holdover from when I played before. The UI was really, really tiny. Like, you need a magnifying glass to see it, but it looks really big now, so I might have to change that setting. Anyway, let's wake up. Oh, we got some knocking on the door. New task, open the door. The journal is a messy, chaotic tool of every decent detective. It helps you track your progress and keep all the little details in check. Activate it by pressing or blah, blah, blah. All right. Keep tips on.
My head. New messages. None. New job inquiries. None. Pleasant surprises. None.
Oh, good. The dialogue is back. So I knew something had been wrong when I first played it. Of course, he was talking, and then suddenly he stopped. So I figured that was a bug as well.
The only thing of interest was the scandalous and tragic local news, with the saucy headlines. Cyber investigators impaled on the job. Always wondered who came up with these bonds mots. All the journalistic babble distilled, it said that 3 upper-crust investigators had been impaled at the Tresh Corner early this morning.
Let's see. And we got choices. Sounds like a good time for a little sightseeing.
I decided to add this to my daily stroll route.
Would anyone impale them at the...
I wondered, what were the odds they all tripped and impaled themselves at the same time? Or, maybe, there was something more sinister involved. The Solcent specialty of the pit. 1 part sweet mushrooms, 1 part kick from a disgruntled mule, and 98 parts industrial alcohol.
98 proof.
Rakija helps me get my thinking straight. The bottle was almost empty. I needed a refill from the scray. If I can scratch up some creds, that is. I slid open the drawer on the right side of my desk. Long use had worn the handle to welcome my fingers. What at first glance looked like a rat's nest was actually a pile of overdue bills and eviction notices. A lot of time had passed since I had creds to pay these. Damn, I'm getting old. I shifted the papers around to see if they were hiding anything interesting. Something solid and heavy slammed against the inside of the drawer.
Easy, fuckface.
A familiar voice spoke inside my head.
Familiar? Now that's just slow. First you leave the hottest Spartan you ever could have dreamed of for another broad, and now this? So damn it, Cooper. If she was such a good partner, she'd stay, like me. But I'm a forgiving type, so here's an offer. Take me for a ride, like you once did, you pathetic sob. Wield me like the majestic, badass, death-dealing tool should be wielded. Own it!
I shoved the papers aside to get a better look. It was my old service weapon. A TT-88. Automatic. Black as the underworld's basement.
What did you expect? A tiny girl living in your desk drawer?
A pop-up that says that depending on this choice, you'll bring your gun with you as a filter-free chatterbox, sidekick, or not. Take the gun. I don't care. She's funny.
I holstered her. I could use the company.
If she does swear a lot, just be aware that I might have to censor her just a little bit.
Cells of my palm celebrated the reunion with the lost phantom limb.
Oh, yes. I'm thirsty, Daddy.
Let's get you a drink, then.
Those are the words a girl longs to hear.
We've been knocking on the door the whole time. Oh, jeez. That was really loud.
A truly horrific necktie was hanged around my ceiling fan.
I'm clicking. He's not wanting to. Oh, but jeez.
Muscle, fat, and jerry-rigged utility-class Augs burst through my office door. He was monstrous, almost grotesque. His breath? Whew, even more so.
The big guy was wound tight as a clock spring, so I countered with my trademark calm.
This big guy was wound tight as a clock spring. So, I countered with my trademark calm. Easy now, big fella.
No worry, Mr. Gumper. I know won't hurt you.
If you cooperate, that is.
Hey, Cooper is the first 6 letters of, cooperate.
I don't know why that was so funny to me.
I really hope that means you're going to pay your taxes.
Oh no, not the taxes.
A slimy tax collector, his talking gorilla, and a bitter detective. Looked like I was gonna die in a hall of cliches. This wasn't the first time Buzz had tried to collect. He wasn't the brightest crayon in the box. I had dodged him numerous times, but he'd never brought muscle with him before. What happens if I don't pay?
Then Dimwit takes you to the sludges and you work off your debt. In your case, it will take around 5 years. Who knows, you might even survive the full stretch.
No one comes back from the sludges, and you know it.
Oh no. Okay. Hey, I don't like it either, but it's not my fault you don't have an honest job or that you're behind on your taxes. You got yourself into this, my friend. Now be a man and face the consequences.
Knowing Buzz, there'd be a giant gaping hole in his plan somewhere. Just needed to push the right buttons.
There had to be a loophole somewhere. The There had to be a loophole somewhere. Paperwork is always riddled with them.
Okay, let's see these eviction papers then.
I could tell that Buzz had reached his limit by how neatly he organized the forms. Luckily, I had an intimate knowledge of these matters. There had to be a loophole just yearning for me to exploit it.
This is 100% legit, Buzz. Seems you got me. Fair and square.
That's right, Johnny boy. You're done like dinner. Gotcha.
Certain events will have different outcomes depending on required personality parameters. These parameters are collected from each choice you make in the game. Remember, in this game, there is no failure, only different consequences.
Pitiful. He started gloating before the win, and now he was gonna get hit. Hard. There's only one thing missing. A bailiff. I see a large fellow plug full of ogs, but no law.
Boss, what's that? Is Gumper calling them it names?
No, that's what you're here for. To make sure the law is obeyed. Regarding your observation, Johnny boy, Dimwit has been deputized.
Oh, of course. Naturally, if you'll just let me see his letter of authorization. I swear the man looked like he was about to break down and cry. How the mighty have fallen.
Molly, hi. It's Buzz. Buzz, I said. Yeah, that Buzz. Did you put the F432B in my folder for John Cooper as I requested? You what? But I didn't ask you to put it on my desk. I told you to place it inside the folder. Ah, you witless, incompetent fucking...
Boss, is you okay? Your face red like paprika.
Let's go, Dimwit. We're not done here, Johnny boy. I'll be back. Count on it.
Sorry, old bean. Rules are rules. By the way, send someone to fix that door.
We got to evade eviction.
That was intense. Peace settled like a shroud over my office again. I reached for the bottle.
So the first time I played through, if you notice, he called Demeter, which is Dimwit, he called Demeter Dimwit. And if you keep pointing that out to Demeter, he gets mad. But I failed the check, and Demeter calmed down and didn't fight for me. And so, didn't fight for me, but he fought me, and I lost and got knocked out. And this will roughly about end where I played. I drank a river to forget her, and for the most part, it helped. There was only this one memory left. The day she walked into my office, bringing trouble. I have a job for you, detective. Words that changed my life. Forever. I have a job for you, detective. The voice acting comes and goes, just a little worse, or about the same as the previous. Maybe a little better. I don't know. We'll find out. Wake up.
I woke in pain to a breathtaking view. Across from my desk sat the smoothest, longest, most scantily clad pair of legs I'd ever dreamed of. Wearing a dress fashioned from a ridiculously luminous, scarlet as sin, out-of-this-world material. Mind-numbingly beautiful, perched in my chair like she owned the place.
I have a job for you, detective.
You don't say. Sometimes options will be disabled depending on your personality values. The disabled options are shown for the sake of the tutorial, but otherwise they would be hidden. So make sure to play the game again sometime and catch all the different paths. That line, how could she know it?
Who are you? And where'd you pick up that line?
For the sake of this conversation, you can call me D.
Just an initial. She doesn't want me to know her identity. Maybe she's a celebrity. Still is curious about what it stood for.
I can respect privacy. Miss D it is. What can I do for you, Miss D?
I appreciate it. As I've said, I have a job for you.
I'm, neck deep in debts. I could use a job. I just need to take care of some loose ends.
I made sure that your troubles with local tax collectors and their apish enforcers go away forever.
Generous.
I've also taken the liberty to pay all of your outstanding bills.
Extremely generous. Can you do that for me in real life?
I knew exactly what that meant.
In some occasions, reactions will be automatic depending on your predominant personality.
That's a lot of cred put on an old horse.
In a way. Your landlord Basinski came by while you were asleep. He had all the paperwork needed to evict you and get you sent to the sludges.
I knew there had to be a catch, but I had nothing to lose.
A suicide mission. I'm listening.
Your reputation precedes you. Do this right, and you can have your peace. Until then, I own you.
One last job before she takes me away. I'm all ears, Miss D. What's the job?
A girl is missing. I want you to find her.
Nothing like spring break in the pit, right?
A new trend among youngsters. A taste of freedom, it's what they call it.
Was someone sent for?
I thought you uppers had a bigger budget for this kind of emergency.
We do. The best bullsec security was deployed moments after she went off the grid. That was at 9:10. Find out what happened to them.
I turned the green screen towards her. She took a moment to scan it.
Yes, that's them. Check that out. They might still be useful.
Let's see. Oh, find out what happened at personal task. Visit the scene of the impalement. Oh, okay. Let's see what we're looking for.
Tell me about this girl.
Her name is Lucy, a Class A+ citizen, 7 years old.
Wow. You didn't say she was only a kid. What was she doing out here alone?
7 decimal years. That's the equivalent of chronological 19. In fact, it was her 19th birthday.
How do I find her?
Here's a photo. Reconstructed moments before she went off the grid.
She leaned forward to slide a picture onto the table. A girl full of life stared back, with deep green, rebellious eyes. Huh. Her pearly white smile gave up her naive. Reminded me of... Never mind. Synthesized hair color matched the iridescent blue of her oversized hood atop a pine green bolero. Behind her, fragment reconstruction showed 3 young men messing around and laughing. Probably her friends. They were on a metro train that took them to the end of the world. That was the place to start the investigation. Her friends, did they return?
They came back at 021 hours. They were severely intoxicated and immediately placed in intensive care. They're in no state to be interrogated, so they're pretty much useless. If they do reveal any crucial information, I'll make sure you get it. But don't rely on that. You live in the Sentinel-forsaken pit, after all.
Just one thing.
I'll indulge you, but only one.
An upper crust dame like her wouldn't dare show her real self in the pit.
Are you by any chance a Bion?
What makes you think that?
Just a hunch.
I'm not a Bion, but you're speaking with my envoy, merely a vehicle for my true self. I see, hear, and feel through it. It's safer than hiring someone to do the job.
Interesting.
Fascinating. I've never heard of that.
Normal people save up for their whole lives just to secure their post-mortem Bion. Using it as I do is much too expensive for almost everyone.
Was a Bion a replacement body?
Okay, I'll start looking.
What? There was a TV show. There's a TV show on Netflix. I can't remember its name, but you would get like beings that were sleeves. And if you were poor, you would just get slipped into any old body, whether it was like matches your personality or not. I don't remember the name of it though. Anyway, doesn't matter.
Good. I transferred the funds to your account. It should be enough to cover your expenses while you search.
Sting. Relationship. Some outcomes will not be determined by predominant personality, but rather by the personality that you use most in conversations with the specific person. She gracefully stood up, left my gun on the table, and left.
Got your back, partner.
I holstered the gun.
Needed a drink and fast. And we finished the prologue. That groan is so loud compared to the rest of the volume.
No idea who transmitted the radio signal, but it was darn good.
Not even gonna say goodbye? Well, I've been trying to, lady, but you are very hard to interact with. Yeah, she's not interacting. Not even gonna say goodbye. No, I guess not, lady. Alright, let's see if I can get it to... Yeah, I'm clicking. It's not doing anything. Alright, well, I think it might be broken again. Yeah, it's highlighted. And same with the door. The door won't let me interact with it. So anyway, that is the prologue. I will come back once I see that there are some updates and if I can go further. If you want to see more, let me know. I'm actually greatly enjoying it, even with the bugs. So I'm looking forward to a fix, and then we'll go forward from there. Thanks for keeping me company.